What's up guys, Kriddle here with another fantastic little segment from AnimeBallZ once more. This week is another This Is, as you can tell by the little title bar up the top there. And this week, this is Digimon Digital Monsters, or as it's known in Japan, Digimon Adventure. Or Adventure, if you want to get really technical. So the series originally started in March of 1999 as a movie, which was then later adapted with the other movie in the first gen, and which was Our War Game, and the Season 2 movie, which had the Golden Digi-Eggs in it. That first movie was the one where Greymon and I can't remember the other Digimon were fighting in the middle of the city, and all the Digidestined were younger than what they were, and they all happened to see this fight, thus becoming the Digidestined early on. So not having that background, which it wasn't actually introduced in English for a while until Season 2 was available, because the three were combined into one movie. So that movie not being available in English sort of stunted our ability to understand why they were the Digidestined. The Digidestined are Tai, Matt, Sora, Mimi, Izzy, Joe, TK and Kari. And before we get too far into this, let's try and get off the tracks. This is of course where I go through the characters who I've already mentioned and go through the plot and stuff like that. But before I get started on the plot, I need to make sure that I mention that all the Digidestined are actually attributed to different good qualities, and that's what helps them throughout the series. Tai is attributed to courage, Matt is attributed to friendship, TK is attributed to hope, Kari is attributed to light, Mimi is attributed to sincerity, Sora is attributed to love, Izzy is attributed to knowledge, and Joe is attributed to attributed, I don't know what the exact word is, reliability. Each of the Digidestined have their own little element as such that they have to revolve around. And the plot of Digimon is quite a simple story, I guess, in a way. There's a song about it, and it basically goes, 7 young kids go to camp for the summer, wind up living in a digital world where everyone gets to meet their own Digimonster, a Digimon companion, a Digimon friend, and all that sort of stuff. Now, what happens is 7 of the Digidestined, so 7 are everyone bar Kari. Kari wasn't at the camp, so she wasn't taken across the digital world. I don't know why she wasn't. She was at home sick for whatever reason. Yeah, she's a girl. So these 7 kids get transported to the digital world and meet their digital companions, and they start to quickly discover that the world that they're in is not as safe as they would like it to be. The Digimon are being controlled by black gears, which were brought out by Devimon, who is trying to manipulate all the Digimon on File Island. So the Digidestined go around and systematically destroy these black gears, trying to save the island. They meet up with Devimon pretty early on in the series, within the first 8 or 9 episodes, and he separates the group, which is not good for them. They've only just gained their abilities. A really big trope with Digimon is that they'll literally spend, you got the first episode, then the subsequent next 7 episodes, or if there's only 3 times the next 3 episodes, or whatever, are attributed to the Digidestined getting their first level of Digivolution. Then they'll get into a massive fight, they'll either win or lose that fight, they'll do whatever. In the case of this Digimon, I'm going way off tangent here. In the case of this Digimon, the Digidestined gain their first level of Digivolution. They go from Rookie to Champion, which is the American version of it. The Digivolutions in Japanese are completely separate. They're completely different. Pretty sure Perfect is the Champion level, or Ultimate. I can't remember the exact order. So they gain their Champion level, they go up against Devimon, they lose, get separated, more black gears get sent out, so effectively it's a rinse and repeat. Only 6 of the Digidestined have their second stage at this point. TK still hasn't managed to digivolve Patamon. Patamon eventually does digivolve and is the one that defeats Devimon, but in response to that, Patamon is reduced to a digital egg. Over the course of the next few episodes, the Digidestined managed to go from Fire Island to a main continent, so a bigger, more expansive world. Over there they discovered the tags and crests, which are the courage and friendship and all that sort of stuff. And each of those, goes about, again, another 7 episodes of them trying to achieve that, which starts out with Tai failing to get his Digimon to digivolve. He finds out the tag and crest, okay, sweet, I can get Greymon to another level. He becomes reckless and doesn't show courage, so he shows a really negative emotion by being reckless and all that sort of stuff. Greymon digivolves into Skull Greymon, who is an evil Digimon. And that all spirals out. Tai gets pretty much booted from the digital world, comes back in to find that the others have been in a lot of trouble. All the other Digidestined gain their Digivolutions across the series. Find the tag and crest, battle someone, Digivolve. Find the tag and crest, battle someone, Digivolve. That sort of thing. The series then progresses into the human world, where Digimon have started to come across into the real world and are terrorizing the world looking for the 8th Digidestined, the 8th child. The 8th child is Kari, who didn't know it at this point. No one knew it at this point that it was going to be Kari, despite the fact that Matt and his brother TK were both a thing. But none of them actually remember the events of the first movie, so that spirals out of it too. They go back to the human world, they end up having to fight Myodasmon. Myodasmon ends up getting killed by Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon, which are the mega levels, so the final level for the Digimons in the Digidestined, which only Tai and Matt are able to reach. There seems to be a bit of a theme with main characters in Digimon. The main guy in the series is usually a dinosaur-based fire type, and the secondary main character is usually a lightning wolf combination thereof, blue wolf usually, which is normal for, well, really not much involved with it. It's only a couple of series, Digimon Savers, Digimon Frontier, and Digimon Adventure. Season 2 and Tamers both break that trope a fair bit. So then the Digidestined go back to the digital world and have to fight the 4 Dark Masters, who are 4 evil Digimon that took over File Island and corrupted it in the time that the Digidestined were in the real world, because time moves differently between the real world and the digital world. So they have to beat those guys and eventually get up to Apocalypmon, who decides he wants to destroy the entire universe, and they manage to stop him from blowing up and destroying everyone. So that's always good, and that's basically the end of Digimon Adventure. The Digidestined are told they're not allowed to return to the digital world and are sent on their merry little way. Which then brings us to our war game, which is then the movie that follows that, and it sort of spirals from there, shows that they still have some access to the digital world, but not much. That's not until Season 2, but I'll get into Season 2 at another date. But for now, let's get to another segment. I have prattled on for way too long about the plot of this show. Let's go and find out
the good, the bad, and the dubbers.
Alright, so I'm working off my notes here, so excuse me for looking down constantly, because I don't remember everyone's names and I don't remember all their roles. Alright, so Tai is voiced by Joshua Seth, who also voices Young Knives in Trigun, Maris in Zatch Bell, and Cyborg 009 from the titular Cyborg 009. Matt is voiced by Michael Reyes, I don't want to stuff names up all that much, who is the voice of Kevin from Ben 10. I know it's not an anime thing, but it's Kevin from the original Ben 10 series, not Alien Force or Ultimate Alien, because that's Greg Sipes. And he's also the voice of Mizuki from Naruto. Mizuki is the villain in the first episode. Joe is voiced by Michael Lindsay, and as weird as it sounds, he's actually the voice of Urahara from Bleach, Tamaki from Code Geass, and Kankuro from Naruto. Pretty impressive resume right there. Sora is voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who is the voice of Nell and Lolly from Bleach, and is also the voice of Ino and Konohamaru from Naruto. Mimi is voiced by Phyllis Sampler, who is the voice of Cody from Zero Two. She's also the voice of Mizuo from Kenshin, and Chizuru from Bleach, the annoying lesbian chick. Izzy is voiced by Mona Marshall, who has a tendency to voice kids in anime, because she's the voice of young Ichigo from Bleach, young Bobobo from Bobobo, Inari from Naruto, and Motoko from Love Hina. TK is voiced by Wendy Lee, and if you don't know who Wendy Lee is, get out now because that's just crazy. Wendy Lee is Yoruichi and Tatsuki from Bleach, Mogi and young Neji from Naruto, Sue from Love Hina, and Konata from Lucky Star. And of course, Kari is voiced by Lara Jill Miller, who is the voice of Matsuri from Naruto and Coco from Zatch Bell. So at the end of this, Digimon Adventure is a fantastic series if you are in it for the nostalgia purposes. But for someone that hasn't ever watched Digimon before, it's going to be a bit confronting, because this is back in a day when voice acting wasn't rated as a very good career choice for people to make. It wasn't as big as it is now, literally to the point where most of these voice actors, no one would have known who they were back when I was growing up. Because, you know, this came out when I was like 10 or 11. I mean, it came out in 1999 in Japan. It came out a few years later in the US and Australia market. So we got it, you know, 2001, 2002 sort of thing. So it was pretty late on the radar for pretty much everyone. It was a bit of a shame to see it go that way. So the voice acting isn't the best, but the battles are pretty good. They're not the best of the Digimon series. It's the first season. It was a start out sort of thing. So it wasn't the best quality in the world. It's never going to be the best quality, but as a nostalgia purpose, it is a fantastic series. And when you take into account that this is actually based off a whole bunch of little Tamagotchis, that's actually really cool. You know, these little Tamagotchis that funded the first Digimon game, Digimon World, which was literally a case of a run-around version of the Tamagotchi game, which was a very hard and clunky game, but I'm hopefully going to review that at some point in the near future as well. Anyway, Digimon Adventure is a fantastic series, but unfortunately due to all the restraints and the editing and stuff like that, because let's be frank, the editing was done so it would be more punny for an American audience to enjoy. So there's a lot of jokes in there that, as an adult, they don't sit as well as they did as a kid. So from a nostalgia point, it's a fantastic series, but if you're coming into the series now, it's going to be a bit of a jarring experience for you. All in all, I do rate it at 6 straw hats out of 9. I've been Criddle. This has been Digimon Adventure, or Digimon Digital Monsters if you're in the US or Australian markets, and I will catch you guys on the flip side after a very, very long video.